Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment markets in this short week. Of course, Thanksgiving's on Thursday, so we'll only be doing one update video this week, which is today. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the economy, the investment markets, and more importantly, what we see as we get into this year end. The first thing I want to discuss really is as we continue to see improvements in the U.S. economy, not only in the labor market numbers, but also on the retail sales side. This is telling me that the consumer in the U.S. is firmly improving. Not to a great growth stance like we saw back, let's say, 10 years ago, but a lot of that really was fake money. What we're ultimately seeing is that consumers paying down debt. We're seeing them being able to spend more money in the future. I think this bodes well. I think year end we're going to continue to see a little upward bias on a lot of the investment sectors, probably primarily in the U.S., which have really been the big leaders year to date. We do own a position in the emerging markets. That position may be sold shortly because it's starting to fall out of our top ranking system, and if that does, we're going to jettison that as we get towards the end of November. One of the things that I want to stress a lot is as we get into year-end tax selling. Resney Wealth Management, of course, will be looking at all of our positions, and we will do what we need to do in order to mitigate capital gains taxes for all of our clients. As we continue through year-end, one of the areas that I still see a problem, of course, not for clients of Resney Wealth Management, because we have not been in either of these positions all year, which is gold and commodities. In fact, gold is close to a new 52-week low, and so are commodities. At the end of the day, relative strength or owning relatively stronger asset categories, basically looking at the big stable of assets, owning the major group of the stronger ones, and selling assets that are getting into weakness has been a great approach for Resney Wealth Management. We continue to see improvements to the share. We continue to believe that gold will continue lower by year end. Simple reason. Gold has been relatively weak. It's down about 26% year to date. And typically as we get into year-end tax selling, assets that are down substantially mid-year typically end up selling off even more as you get into the month of December. So for those of you who are not clients of Resney Wealth Management and you own gold or commodity based, you might want to seriously consider selling and taking a tax loss on gold before chances are goes a lot lower than it already is. I think firmly as we get into 2014, of course, I think gold and commodities will probably continue to be weak simply because we're not having any major inflation. In fact, the inflation numbers are actually quite tame. This bodes well for quantitative easing. Now, while the economy is getting better and Ben Bernanke and team are talking about maybe reducing quantitative easing, they will, as they discussed, when it is appropriate and not very quickly. Now, while we've had a lot of comments from not only TV and radio listeners, but from a few clients about quantitative easing in regards to is that propping up the market, no, absolutely not. The economy in the U.S. is actually getting better on its own. You're seeing a lot of the stock market gains because of an improvement in the economy. In fact, if you look at corporate earnings and revenues, they have almost doubled in the last 5 years alone. So again, the stock market's gone up. Earnings have gone up along with it. So if you look at the average PE of large cap companies in the U.S., right now they stand about 17. Statistically speaking, 18.5 is about average. So as we can continue to see revenue and earnings growth going forward into 2014, what this tells me is there is a good likelihood that we could see a continued expansion of the U.S. economy, and if that happens, you tend to see a stock market that does quite well. Of course, if you're a client of Resney Wealth Management and you have a question, give us a call. If you're not a client of Resney Wealth Management, please call our office for a consultation. There is a difference. We do invite you to experience it. We will have, of course, a TV show this Wednesday, and we will have a live radio show this Sunday. Make sure you watch both or listen to both, and if you're not in the viewing area, you can always go to our website after the show, and it will be logged and posted on our website under the updates and videos and TV shows. Make sure you have yourself a safe and profitable week and a very happy Thanksgiving.